Hello everyone, welcome to DSS online classes. Today we are going to complete the reading practice of the remaining part of the chapter. So listen it carefully and understand the meaning of some hard words. So children, let's start the chapter and the topic is Company Fights Back. Unnerved by the scale of the upheaval, the company decided to repress the revolt with all its might. It brought reinforcement from England, passed new laws so that the rebels could be convicted with ease, and then moved into the storm centers of the revolt. Delhi was recaptured from the rebel forces in September 1857. The last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, was tried in court and sentenced to life imprisonment. He and his wife Begum Zeenat Mahal were sent to prison in Rangoon in October 1858. Bahadur Shah Zafar died in the Rangoon jail in November 1862. The recapture of Delhi, however, did not mean that the rebellion died down after that. People continued to resist and battle the British. The British had to fight for 2 years to suppress the massive force of popular rebellion. Lucknow was taken in March 1858. Rani Lakshmi Bai was defeated and killed in June 1858. A similar fate awaited Rani Avanti Bai, who after initial victory in Kheri chose to embrace death when surrounded by the British on all sides. Tatya Tope escaped to the jungles of central India and continued to fight a guerrilla war with the support of many tribal and peasant leaders. He was captured, tried and killed in April 1859. Just as victories against the British had earlier encouraged rebellion, the defeat of rebel forces encouraged desertions. The British also tried their best to win back the loyalty of the people. They announced rewards for loyal landholders would be allowed to continue to enjoy traditional rights over their land. Those who had rebelled were told that if they submitted to the British and if they had not killed any white people, they would remain safe and their rights and claims to land would not be denied. Nevertheless, hundreds of sepoys, rebels, nawabs and rajas were tried and hanged. Aftermath. The British had regained control of the country by the end of 1859, but they could not carry on ruling the land with the same policies anymore. Given below are the important changes that were introduced by the British. The British Parliament passed a new act in 1858 and transferred the powers of the East India Company to the British Crown in order to ensure a more responsible management of Indian affairs. A member of the British Cabinet was appointed Secretary of State of India and made responsible for all matters related to the governance of India. He was given a council to advise him called the India Council. The Governor General of India was given the title of Viceroy, that is, a personal representative of the Crown. Through these measures, the British government accepted direct responsibilities for ruling India. All the ruling chiefs of the country were assured that their territories would never be annexed in future. They were allowed to pass on their kingdom to their heirs, including adopted sons. However, they were made to acknowledge the British Queen as their sovereign paramount. Thus, the Indian rulers were to hold their kingdom as subordinate of British Crown. It was decided that the proportion of Indian soldiers in the army would be reduced and the number of European soldiers would be increased. It was also decided that instead of recruiting soldiers from Awadh, Bihar, Central India and South India More soldiers would be recruited from among the Gorkhas, Sikhs, and Pathans. The land and property of Muslims was confiscated on a large scale and they were treated with suspicion and hostility. The British believed that they were responsible for the rebellion in a big way. The British decided to respect the customary religious and social practice of the people in India. Policies were made to protect landlords and zamindars and give them security of rights over their lands. Thus, a new phase of history began after 1857.